Hey there, I'm Kat, and this is Brews and Reviews. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a tag, because I haven't done one in, I don't even remember how long it's been since I've done one, to be honest. Side note, if you've tagged me in anything and I just haven't done it yet, it's mostly because I've forgotten. So back to today's video, I'm going to be doing the D&D tag, and I was tagged by Kaz from Cats and Camera. This tag was created by Gems, Creeps and Geeks and Ashley's Bookish Life, and I kind of couldn't resist this one, despite not actually being a D&D player myself. Now, Kaz said in the video that I give off D&D vibes, and that's because I do give off D&D vibes, and I'm sad that I'm not a D&D player. There's just nowhere around where I live where I could actually do D&D, and I kind of need like my handheld as like an introduction to it, so I've kind of been reluctant to start, even though I really want to, because it seems like so much fun and right up my alley. But hey ho, I can admire D&D from afar, so I'm gonna do this tag anyway. If you can hear any squeaking, I'm sorry, I have neighbours. They squeak apparently. So let's get straight into these questions. Question number one is, everyone's dead, a character with a tragic backstory. So for this question, I feel like the answer that jumped out to me was Aelin Galathynius from the Throne of Glass series, because wow, she has just the worst backstory ever. It's just a really terrible time for her. But that's not actually going to be the answer for this question. I just felt like I couldn't ignore the fact that she had just the worst time. The worst. And my answer for this is kind of veering away from everyone being dead, but it's still a pretty shitty backstory to have, and that is Briar Rose from The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. Now, this is a monster romance series, and the series is about a group of women who make bargains with demons, and they have to like live in their world and be like married to a monster for like a year, and then they can go home and, you know, their bargain will be complete. Now, Briar Rose is the first woman that we follow in this series, and the reason that she makes this deal with a demon is because she has just a horrible, abusive husband. He's just doing absolutely horrible things. He beats her. He's just a really shitty guy, and I feel like while this isn't like the worst backstory, we're not like comparing trauma here, but the reason I wanted to pick it for this question is because it's something that follows her throughout the book, so it sort of affects how she reacts to various situations in this like romance scenario that she's having. I think that's really good to see how it changes how she reacts to things, and it really has affected her in every facet of her being. So it's really important, but it's also like tragic in the sense of it's stopping her from being open to all of these new things when the only thing that she feels like she can do is make a bargain with a demon to kill her husband, because she's just in the worst place ever. So that's why I wanted to pick Briar Rose for this answer. Question number two, roll Persuasion with advantage and auto by author. Now I have two, and I feel like they're not particularly surprising if you have spent any time on this channel before. Sorry about it, Sarah J Maas and Ali Hazelwood, because I don't even need to know what their books are about and I will buy them. And that's terrible. Usually I need something to sort of draw me in, but I know for a fact that I have bought Ali Hazelwood books and Sarah J Maas books without knowing the plot. Well, the Sarah J Maas ones I bought because I know that the nice covers run out and you end up with like the horrible, awful covers that they do in like paperback in the UK, and I'm just like, ugh. So you kind of have to buy those when they first come out or they become disgusting. So, you know, that's part of the reason that she's an auto buy for me. Also, I end up loving her books, but beside the point, Ali Hazelwood, I really don't need to know what the book is about. All I need to know is that it is written by her, because I really like her writing style so much that I feel like whatever it's about, I will just enjoy it for the writing style and the characters that she creates. So even if I think the plot is absolutely bonkers, like I did end up thinking for Love on the Brain, I still enjoyed it because it was fun and she just writes in a way that really appeals to me. So yeah, those are my two for this. Question number three, Me and the Boys Gonna Mess You Up, an ensemble cast that you love. I feel like there are so many ensemble casts that I just really gel with and really enjoy, but I just feel like this one that I'm gonna pick now has this special place in my heart and I just really love them. And that's the cast from the Illuminae saga. So the first book in this series follows a certain set of people, the second book follows a different set of people, and the third book brings everybody together with some new people, and it becomes this whole big thing where evidence is being gathered around all of these different incidents that have happened and these people have come together, and I just love it. I love all of the characters, and I feel like it's one that I can always return to, and I just have such a great time with them, even like when horrible things are happening to them. Because the Illuminae Files is about an illegal mining colony planet that gets taken over by a rival mining company, and they try and murder everyone, so then some people are running away on spaceships, and then there's like space virus, and that's only the plot of the first one. It definitely has a lot of other stuff going on, but I just really love the different characters and how they're just so badass in different ways. I feel like they all have different strengths, and it's just really nice to see them together. So yeah. Question number 4, I rolled a 1, a character that tries their best but keeps failing. I found this one really hard to pick a character for, but I was trying to think of a character that had actual moments in books where other characters acknowledged that they had failed at a bunch of things, and that obviously is something that affects them. For this one I picked Eve from Act Your Age, Eve Brown, because she is like a serial job hunter. She tries to do something, she does it for like a little bit, and then immediately changes her mind and does something else. Now whether that's because of neurodivergence or things not fitting, or she's just really bored of the things, she tries so many things and everyone's like, oh, well you couldn't do that then, could you? And it's not exactly why she's failed at these things, but I just think it's a really interesting like aspect of her background, and it's part of the reason why she's so determined to stick to the job that she gets inadvertently. Oh my god, the cat's here! Hi, Coops! Hi! Hi, little man! He's not so little, but he is a sleepy boy. Hello, sleepy boy. But it is part of the reason that Eve tries so desperately to stick to the job that she kind of gets. And by kind of gets, I mean that Eve goes for a job in a B&B and it doesn't really go well in the interview, and then she accidentally runs over the owner and then has to help him out because she broke his leg. So she kind of got that job. It's a really fun book, a really fun romance, and I love this book, so I feel like Eve is really fitting for this question. Question number 5, Roll to Tame the Floof. A book with a dangerous creature you'd love to have as a pet. Now what I realised when I was trying to come up with an answer for this question is how many books that I read where there are dangerous creatures in them, but they're also sentient. Like, they have opinions, and then I'm like, I couldn't really have them as a pet, because like that would be weird. They're sentient beings, that's like crossing a weird line there. So I was trying to think of like any magical creatures that were like animals as opposed to like sentient in the same way that like humans are sentient and like could talk to you sort of thing. I don't know if I'm making the right distinction there, but the word pet was the thing that made me go a bit like, what do I pick for this? So for this one I picked kind of a weird one, and that is the Space Whales from Binti by Nedia Korafor. So these are giant whales in space, and they're kind of like ships that you can like go inside, and then like they have like this symbiotic relationship with travelers of space. I don't know, it's a really weird concept, and it's been a while since I've read those books, so I can't really explain it very well. But I do think, imagine if you had a space whale as a pet, you could just go anywhere, and they're like self-sustaining because they have like a whole ecosystem inside them. I just feel like that's such a cool option. And like, I don't know about the word pet, but at the same time it would be really cool to have them as like a companion, and like it would be awesome. Question number 7, I would like to rage, a character with anger issues. I have 2 answers for this, the first of which is Andrew Maynard from The Foxhole Court by Nora Sakovic. I feel like Andrew's got some anger issues. It's been a while since I've read this, and I am planning to reread it because I want to go back into the series. I remember really enjoying it, but Andrew beats a lot of people up. He's just very angry. And just as soon as I looked at this prompt, I was like, yes, it's Andrew. Actually, I'm pretty sure this was the same answer that Kaz gave, but yeah, I just can't pick anyone else because he's just the angriest boy. This series is about a fictional sport called Xe, and about the players on a specific team, and there's like mafia stuff in the background. I don't know, it's good, I liked it. Also, side note, my secondary character pick for this was Tamlin from The Court of Thorns and Roses, because he's an angry boy too. He's got some rage issues and cannot control himself in any way possible, so he's just like explosively angry. Question number 8, Hip Thrust for Seduction, a spicy book. Now I read quite a few spicy books, so I feel like picking something for this, I wanted to go for something that I don't hear mentioned as much anymore, even though it had like a moment where like loads of people were talking about it for a specific reason, and then nobody talked about it anymore, and I want people to talk about it again, because it's not necessarily that the spice is good in it, it's that it makes me laugh when people have to think about reading it, because it actually wasn't anywhere near as bad as people say that it is, but it did make me laugh a lot. So it's Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nacosta, and this one is about a world in which paranormal creatures and humans, they all live alongside each other, and They all have like regular jobs and blah blah blah. Anyway, so there's this company that is making, I can't remember what they're making, is it face cream or something? Or like it's some sort of medical thing that they're making in this factory, and the key ingredient is minotaur sperm. So there's about this human girl who milks the minotaurs. And yeah, I know I've lost a lot of you there, but read it. It's actually way better than you think it'd be, and it just makes me sad how no one talks about it anymore, so that's why I'm throwing that one into this tag. You're welcome. I missed out question number 6 because I'm an idiot. So question number 6, DM rolls unexpectedly a book that surprised you. Okay, so I'm gonna go with The Book of M by Peng Shepherd. This is a sci-fi book set in like a post-apocalyptic world where people start to lose their shadows, and if someone loses their shadows, it means they also lose their memories, and they don't remember if things were correct or not, and if they remember something incorrectly, then that thing becomes true. So they forget that statues can't move, so statues are then able to move, or they think that butterflies are 6 feet tall, and then there's like giant butterflies all over the place. It's a really interesting one, and thinking about the perspectives in this one, you get the perspective of somebody who is forgetting things and somebody who isn't, and it's just such an interesting world, and I feel like this one really surprised me because I wasn't really sure what to think of it, because I do generally find people forgetting things quite scary, and I didn't know where this was gonna go, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. So I feel like this was the perfect answer for this. Question number 9, how do you want to do this? A book with a satisfying ending. Now I feel like this one may be controversial, but I have a few books that I consider specifically satisfying endings, and this is one of them. And a lot of people do not consider this satisfactory at all. Like, they hated this book, and I'm like, cool, okay, I didn't. I found it satisfying. And it's Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. A lot of people hated this book. A lot of people really, really didn't like the ending. I reread this series last year, I think. I loved it, and I feel like it might not be the ending to the series that we all wanted, but it was the ending that the series deserved. And I feel like it made the most sense overall. The last line of this book just makes me cry, so yeah, I love it. I think it's very satisfying, and I realize I might be in a minority, so please don't yell at me for that, but you know, we're all allowed our opinions. So that's the end of the D&D tag. I'm not going to tag anyone because I don't know who plays D&D or who is interested in D&D, but if you want to do this tag, then you are tagged to do it. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!